Welcome back to the Resolution Room, where we turn tension into transformation through clarity, connection, and consistency. I'm your host, Dr. Nashay Lowe, and this is a space where we explore what's really underneath the moments that challenge us and how they can lead to something more honest, more human, and more whole. So let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about something I've noticed in myself and my clients and in a lot of the systems we move through. The sense that everything must be done right now. That we have to fix it, prove it, and respond to it immediately. We often call it a sense of urgency, but beneath the surface, it's not always about efficiency. Sometimes it's about protection, because the faster we move, the less we feel, and the less we feel, the safer we think we are. In the next 4 segments, we will explore why urgency often disguises something deeper and how we can begin to slow down, not just for the sake of rest, but for the sake of clarity. Segment 1, where urgency comes from. Let's start here. There's nothing inherently wrong with being fast, productive, or efficient. But when urgency becomes a constant state, that's often a signal, not just a habit. Clinical psychologist Dr. Christine Podesky talks about the ways our behaviors are often shaped by internal beliefs we've held since childhood, sometimes formed through repeated patterns of instability, unpredictability, or pressure. And one of those beliefs is, if I don't move fast, something bad will happen. Think about it. The student who overworks because pausing feels risky. The parent who fills every moment so they never have to sit with what's heavy. Or the professional who checks email obsessively because silence feels threatening. We live in a world that rewards quick responses, but quick isn't always wise. And when speed becomes a shield, it often prevents us from understanding what's really going on. As organizational psychologist Dr. Adam Grant notes, the pressure to respond rapidly can actually lower the quality of our decisions and reduce our capacity for empathy. That's in how we communicate, how we parent, and how we relate to ourselves. Segment 2, what constant speed costs us. Now let's talk about what happens when urgency becomes our default setting. When we're constantly rushing, mentally or physically, we're not present. We're anticipating. We're bracing. And in that state, we often miss what's actually needed. We send the email just to get it off our plate, not because the message was clear. We jump to conclusions instead of asking one more question. We say yes out of habit and then resent it later. The cost of this kind of speed isn't just burnout, it's disconnection from ourselves and from others. Research from the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley shows that when people operate in high-stress, fast-paced environments, their ability to access empathy and perspective-taking declines. That means urgency doesn't just make us tired, it can make us less available to the moment, to people we care about, and to the truth. And maybe most importantly, it cuts us off from our own internal cues. When we're moving fast, we don't check in with what we actually want. We just do what seems necessary because slowness has been misinterpreted as laziness, weakness, or failure. Segment 3, what slowing down really means. So let's be clear. Slowing down isn't about doing less. It's about doing what matters on purpose. It's about asking, what am I rushing toward? What am I trying to avoid? Is this actually urgent or just uncomfortable? One of my favorite frameworks comes from Dr. Alicia Lieberman, who talks about the idea of creating space to respond. It's not about reacting less, it's about responding more thoughtfully. That means giving ourselves permission to pause, not because we're stalling, but because we're choosing. When we slow down, we notice what the moment is asking of us, not just what our habits demand. We leave room for nuance, which is where real understanding grows. And we remember that discomfort isn't danger, it's information. This shift from urgency to intentionality is one of the most powerful mindset changes we can make, not just for our well-being, but for the quality of our relationships. Segment 4, reclaiming your inner tempo. Let's talk about something simple but powerful: rhythm. Not productivity, not efficiency, not the tempo of your inbox, your own internal rhythm. Because part of the journey out of our urgency isn't just about slowing down, it's about remembering your pace, the one that lets you think clearly, speak honestly, and decide with integrity. Dr. Stephen Porges, who developed polyvagal theory, reminds us that our nervous systems are wired to seek cues of safety in our environment. Subtle things like tone, timing, and presence. When everything is urgent, our nervous system interprets that as a cue to brace, react, and survive. But when we move at a pace that honors our body's rhythm, that's when we start to feel grounded, capable, and clear. Think about how many decisions you've rushed through, not because you were ready, but because you felt pressure. Now think about the ones where you gave yourself a day or a night or a walk around the block. Which ones align more with your values? We can't always control the demands of the world around us, but we can notice when our internal rhythm has been hijacked and gently take it back. So try this. Before saying yes, take one breath and ask what you're saying yes to. Before hitting send, reread and ask if it reflects your true intent. And before reacting, pause long enough to feel your real response, not just your reflex. Because clarity isn't just a mental exercise, it's a physiological state. And we reach it when we stop sprinting long enough to hear what's true. So I'll leave you with this. Where in your life are you moving faster than you need to? And what might be possible? What might become clearer if you gave yourself permission to slow down? The urge to hurry is real. It's often rooted in places that deserve compassion, not judgment. But urgency doesn't have to lead the way. Sometimes the most courageous thing we can do is wait. Not forever, not passively, but long enough to make a choice rooted in clarity, not fear. As always, thank you for joining me in the Resolution Room. If this conversation moved you, challenged you, or gave you something to carry forward, consider supporting the show. You can explore our wearable wisdom collection in our Mind Shop, where each piece is designed to spark reflection and dialogue. You can also join our growing community for behind-the-scenes conversations, resources, and support of your own journey through tension and transformation. And if you just want to say thank you in a simple way, you can always buy me a coffee. Every gesture helps keep this space going. All the links are in the show notes. And until next time, keep building in the quiet, because that's what will carry you forward.